Welcome to the Scale Model Podcast. In this podcast, we aim to entertain, inform, and promote the hobby of scale model kit building with interviews, reviews, and news about the hobby. The podcast is available bi-weekly where your favorite podcasts are found, including iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can also get it from our website at scalemodelpodcast.com, where you can find show notes, photo gallery, and so much more. You can also subscribe to get notifications on all our updates, new episodes, and video content. Please support the Scale Model Podcast on Patreon. Patreon supporters enjoy early access to content and exclusive contests. Your Patreon support helps us to offset hosting and other costs to bring the podcast to you. Welcome to episode 128 of the Scale Model Podcast, sponsored by Cult TV Man, Sean's Custom Model Tools, and Return to Kit Form. I'm one of your three regular co-hosts, Stuart, and we're back. The gang is all back. First of all, back from his world tour, or at least tour of Ontario and New York State, from the North Shore of Lake Erie, where you never know what you're going to find in the space behind him. Mr. Geoff Hyland, how are you, sir?
It's a pleasure to be back again. My God, it seems like forever.
It's been like a month. I know your fans missed you, my friend.
My fan, my mom.
Your mom, she wondered where the heck you were, and I went, well, you should know where he is. He's getting up to mischief. He's your son. And
hey, for the record, my mom, 92 years old, she got her driver's license renewed today.
Girl.
If you're in the Toronto area, avoid the roads, please. Avoid
Did she buy a nice new Mustang or a Corvette to celebrate?
No, she still got her old Volkswagen, but it's all good. It's all good. She still drives way too fast. And
doing 150 down the 407.
150 usually in the subdivision, but there you
go. And the nice Metro police officer.
Yeah.
Madam, please just slow down.
Yes, I'm 92 years old, young man. Now, don't you talk to me like that.
That's like my mother. My mother's talked herself out of everybody's speeding ticket over the years. I don't know. She gets it from my grandfather, her dad, who was this Irish and just has the way of doing it. He had a lead foot. All of his daughters had lead foots. I had a wonderful experience with my distinguished aunt once. You know, this is a doctor's wife, very distinguished. She had this Alfa Romeo, and we were doing 130 down the M3 on the way up to London. You know, my mom was scared shitless. She was perfectly calm.
Of course.
It was fun.
That's what an Alfa Romeo is for.
I know. Okay, and then also from just west of Chicagoland, where the weather may be coming a little bit earlier than we are, as always, Mr. Terry Measley. How are you, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Is it cold?
It's cooling down.
Yeah,
it's fairly cool, but it's going to get down to like 20 degrees.
Yeah, we're going to be similar below freezing.
Fahrenheit, Geoff. Fahrenheit.
Couple of days, yeah.
I'm good with that. 20 Fahrenheit.
20 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's still below freezing, my friend.
It is.
Hey, we spent last week in upstate in New York and Connecticut, so we're familiar with all the Americanisms.
That's good. That's good. So did you and your lovely wife, happy anniversary, and did you have a good trip?
Yeah, we did. We had a great trip. We went. Actually, the whole purpose of our trip was to visit with my mother's sister. She's 96 years old.
Wow.
And sharp as a tack still. But really, you know, it's better for us to go visit them than for them to visit us. We haven't been down there since COVID, so it's been a long time. And we were supposed to get together for my 104-year-old grandmother's, celebration of life. She died during COVID, and we were all going to get together, and that we had fought off COVID for the whole time. We got it for that one weekend when the whole family, all the U.S. and Canadian family got together for this one thing.
You see, that'll teach you not to be social.
Yeah, you see, there you go. So we figured it out. We figured we'd head down, and we visited with them. We visited with a cousin of mine in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes, and it was nice. We went really to sort of see people and see the trees, and it was worth it. Weather was miserable, but still a nice drive. Nice sort of stepping stone into traveling again.
Yeah, where you were near Rhinebeck, that's where they have a huge yarn show every year. The huge. My wife wants to go. Apparently it's the fiber person's equivalent of Nats. Apparently.
Oh, there you go. Well, we went to the old Rhinebeck Aerodrome.
Yes, and that's a fun spot.
Yeah, we missed the last flying show of the year by one day.
Oh dear.
but it's still a kind of a neat little old museum with a lot of sort of rebuilt World War One-ish type planes, and, and some props from the original Magnificent Men and their flying machines.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that was kind of fun, and definitely I'd recommend it if you haven't been there. It's fun, and their people are great. So definitely.
Cool. Awesome. All right. And Terry, you've been busy here, there, and everywhere. I saw the odd puppy picture.
Yeah. Got a couple other ones I probably should post, but yeah, Toshi, nothing gets past him. He's perched on a stone and staring at me. I'll include it. I thought I was being quiet, but he's turned his head. He's like Batman out there. Got his
He's
mask
clever.
on.
He's clever. There you go.
He has very, very alert ears.
Oh,
yes.
he's like 7 months old. There's nothing gets past him. The ears are
No.
fresh. The eyes are fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when my cats were that age, same thing. Exactly. So, but yeah, no, okay. So let's get right into it. Of course, thanks to our Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee supporters. Thanks to you guys. We have paid for our hosting fee for the year and our domain. So we really appreciate that and your support. Okay, lots of shows happened. Terry, I'm going to start with you because you have 2 shows to report on in a roundabout way.
Yeah, I got down to Cincinnati. Easy
Mhm.
trip. Spent a couple days with my dad and mom down there as well. So that was nice. It was a good show. I missed it last year. They rearranged everything and they really hit their groove.
Good.
It was very smoothly done from beginning to end. They set up the night before and they cleaned up. I was going to help clean up by the time I got back from doing something, and it was mostly done.
Wow.
Yeah. Surprise appearance by the B-25 out there. They had a
Yes.
remembrance flight to go to. So
Mhm.
at 4 o'clock, they ran up, took off, did a low pass, and then just as we had finished up cleaning, putting everything away and throwing all the stuff out and recycling and all that, it was ready for it to come back. So we got to see
Awesome.
it come in, do a low pass, and then land.
It was a great video you shot and posted to our Facebook page. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice. We a lot of people did stick around, at least to see the takeoff.
Yep.
Because
Beautiful
why not?
sound. Beautiful
Yeah.
sound. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Can't
I
go wrong.
helped judge a number of categories there. So I got a good look at a bunch of stuff.
Yep. Anything
Took a
particularly
few pictures.
that stood out?
So being so close to Wonderfest, there's a lot of there are a lot of science fiction builders.
Mhm.
They weren't huge on the science fiction side, but there's some really good quality stuff out, and some figure builders come up for that. A couple of them I know, a couple of them I don't, but it's one of those where the categories were split in busts and in figures on a couple of scales, so there are multiple splits in those categories, which for most local shows does not happen.
Right.
Great.
And it was weird splits too, because we kind of just did it by real estate on the page because that's how they set. So it wound up being a few people in this category, a few people in this category competing against each other, which actually worked out pretty well because it got us to recognize a wider variety. They have a modified split rule. Anyone can get 2 awards in one category as long as they're not members of the club. If you're a club member, you can only get 1.
That seems fair.
Yeah, this is really fair. That's really fair.
That's good.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of small scale busts and figures. Nothing, some smaller stuff, but it was amazing quality. Essentially, all of them in that one category, for the most part, could have taken the award. So, talking with my fellow judges and teams of three judges at this show, which is great. It's like, okay, all of these are essentially the same quality. We could give all of them number 1.
Right.
Which one gathers our attention? Where does our eyes go? Each of you think of it on your own, and then we'll all at the same time point to it. It's like, which one? It's like, and we all pointed to the same piece.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It was a stunning piece. That was that demon girl on the pictures, Beast. Not the most extravagantly painted piece, but it was gorgeous.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, so we did that and a couple other ones. The Gundam category was like that. All right, which one really draws our eyes here? These are all essentially the same. So we split them up. We were able to kind of split them up style wise, sort of the MAK highly weathered ones versus the Gundam style cleaner builds, so we could split those apart. That was nice. And the same thing, which one draws our eyes? Because if you can't make a decision, you don't see anything glaring.
Yep.
That should be the category. That's one thing at Wonderfest is like, show me something, guys. It's like, all right.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. Aircraft, of course, I brought along those Mitsubishi Babses.
Yeah. Good.
And single engine 48 scale prop, multiple splits in those. I don't bring those thinking I'm going to win anything because, it's the most populous category.
Yep.
It's like 35th scale German armor.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it was a great show. I enjoyed it a lot. And
right.
While I was down with my dad, we got out into the garage, cleaned stuff up, and used up some scrap wood to build up a little cabinet so I can put some 3D printed paint racks in for Pro A Curl series.
Nice. There you go. Perfect. Okay, and then Neil went to MMSI.
He did. That was always a good show, an amazing show, and he gushed over a few things there. The figures it's all figures, but it's not all figures. There's other categories too.
Yeah, but still stunning. It's all about the figures there.
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to I just got the pictures yesterday. I haven't had a chance to dig through or process those, but I'll have them done by the weekend and have an album up in the Facebook.
Perfect. Yeah. That'll be awesome. We'll link to that.
And as a bonus,
yeah,
when he was in England, he took videos and pictures at some of the museums, including getting to watch their Lancaster run up.
Oh, that's always
and
nice.
Taxi test a little bit there. And he says next year they expect to have that airborne.
Yeah, they were doing some major works with the engines this year. They had some issues
Yeah.
with that, so I'm glad they got her running back again. That was always awesome when we had our Canadian Warplane Heritage Lancaster go over for a visit a couple of years back. That was absolutely awesome to, even though I wasn't there in person, but to see two in the air. I know some of the vets who are still around who flew the missions. That was big for them. Okay, and then I don't think, Geoff, you didn't go to the welcome show, did you?
No, I did not.
No, neither did I.
Carrie did from our club.
Yeah.
Yes, Carrie did from our club, and
I went to Guelph. No.
I know, and a few other other people did. Looks like it was a fundraiser for the aircraft. It's a smaller regional show, but looks like some awesome stuff. So one of our regular fans, Will Dixon, I see he posted some fabulous bits of work there. A lot of nice looking aircraft in all different things. Yeah, just looks like it was a good show.
It always fascinates me. I was mentioning this in our build night that you look at all the pictures for the shows, at least the Canadian shows, and quite often you see the same models showing up at 6 different shows.
Yep.
It's kind of like seeing an old friend.
It is literally. Now, one thing that did catch me is someone had this never had occurred to me before, but someone had a 32nd scale Lancaster there. It doesn't say which one it was, but someone commented, because it's taken from the left rear, looking down from above. And if you look, you'll only see 6 oil streaks, like the 2 inboard engines have 2 on either side, and the outboard have only 1. And so someone said, did I miss something? Only 6. And Will said, no, the dihedral on the wing allows the outer engine's exhaust to pass under the wing instead of over.
Yes, that's right. And if you look at the one that I bought from you and I built, I have 6 as well.
You do? I'd never even seen that before. It never even, unless someone had pointed it out, I would have missed that entirely. So
I'll take a picture and post it in the show notes.
Yeah, but no, but again, this is a fabulous 70 or 32nd scale one that someone
wasn't there one at Heritage Fest?
At Heritage Con? Oh yeah, I think there was 2.
Heritage.
I think there was 2.
Yeah.
But I just don't remember thinking, oh, why does only have 6? It just, I'm looking at it and then someone mentions, did I miss something?
It's an interesting. It's one of those. It's one of those planes where that's a bit of a giveaway if you've done detailed
Yeah,
research on it. Because,
exactly. I can see that. I can see why, certainly.
yeah,
And that's kind of my, kind of my point. But again, beautiful builds as always. That puts me to shame. Nice, nice mix of Canadian and, all sorts of
Yeah.
other cool things. Always a fun show. Always a
yeah,
fun show to go. And of course, we had the RCAF Snowbird Snowsphere, which I particularly like. That's further along.
yeah. Seen that one in a few places
Yeah.
too.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So always a good show. So yeah,
And
that's
the King Kong drag race, that's
yep.
been
Yep.
in a few shows.
Yep. Everyone does the routine every year. It does the show circuit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Basically.
I had not seen the Godzilla nuclear explosion one.
No.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one.
Mm.
So that was kind of cool. But yeah, so it was all good. All right, so let's get on to the latest hobby announcements. Trumpeter, some of them are already doing December announcements. So Trumpeter's got two interesting things. And this first one's quite nice, an A6 intruder in 72nd scale. And I suspect this is new tool. Because
Just looking at the parts and
yeah,
the renderings, it looks new tool to me, but I don't know. I mean, either way, it's a damn good kit.
250 parts, 10 sprues. Yeah, it looks, because what's one thing that gives it away is we think they've got like the air brakes, the flaps, you can pose them open and closed.
Yeah.
It's got a full ordnance package. That's a gorgeous looking kit. I've got an A6, but it's an older Hasegawa in the stash. And like, what else do you have here? You've got Mark 20s, 8 of them, Mark 81, 6 of them, Mark 82s, and 117s, centerline and side fuel tanks, GBAU 8s. You can build it with folded wings. That's a nice looking kit.
I kind of like it when they do the build up
Yep.
without going to town on it.
Yep.
There's no paint. They've maybe they've carefully cut the screw gates, but
Yep.
otherwise they
Mhm.
just
It's
fit
good
it as
fit.
it is. So
Yeah.
you can see that it's pretty much a good fit. There are some spots you can see where some work needs to be done, but it's not a lot.
A lot of air brakes open, some nice detail there. So yeah, that'll be a nice kit for folks who like their 72nd. Next up is the Mi-4AV Hound. It's a Soviet helicopter in 1/48 scale. So this was a transport that served in both military and civilian around the Korean War. First model entered in 1953, and it was first displayed the outside world at the Soviet Aviation Day in 1952. So very much tell it's a Soviet design, but you got some ordnance on it as well. Transport that can carry a few guns. 200 plus parts, 8 sprues, 34 centimeters in length, and the rotor's 43 centimeters in width. So that's a big boy.
It's good size in 48 scale.
Yep, so that'll be good.
Would look great next to a 19 CH19 or
exactly.
one of the others in that series.
Yep.
34s.
Yep, and then we have go ahead.
I do like the Soviet color schemes though. Something about that blue-green underside.
Yep.
Just definitely like it.
Exactly. Okay, and then from their other division over there, Hobby Boss. A couple of releases. We have the U2R Dragon Lady, the senior span, 1/48 scale, $95. Again, that's going to be wingspan alone. It's going to be big. I got to find the dimensions here. Wingspan 65 centimeters.
Yeah, I have the old Italeri Italeri, however you want to pronounce it, kit in my stash that I bought at a distressed price from one Stuart Clark years ago.
Was that me? Did I say that?
You sold it to me, you shyster.
Really? I don't even remember that. That's terrible. This is the senior span, so this has got like the little pod on top, and
I got the big sensors.
Big sensors,
Same
nice
thing.
Yeah, nice decals. Looks good. Next up, as I scroll down, we have the US T-34 heavy tank. This was the American design. This was it was evolved from the T-29 and T-30. I'd never heard of this, so this was like a super heavy tank they did just after the war. It was deemed too heavy, and no production orders were placed. But you can now produce your own in 1/35. Do your own what if.
Yeah, everyone had their super heavies at the end of the war.
Yep.
and it was even too heavy for them to even continue with it.
Yeah, slide molding.
It's a beast.
On the tulls and turret. 18 sprues, 1,100 parts. So you know a lot of that's going to the tracks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
1,000 of them are in the tracks.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is a big thing, isn't it? Wow.
What was the tonnage on the T-34? Let me look that up real quick.
Look that up. That's
Out of
bloody
curiosity.
heavy. That's all I'm saying. Comes with some photo etch.
Nice molding though. I mean, looking at the build-ups, again, I like it when they show a build-up.
Yep, exactly.
But no paint, no master modeler, just sort of slam together, and there you go. That's what the kit looks like. You don't do a ton of work to it.
It's a very big beastie. Okay, turning to our friends at Special Hobbies, CMK, and Planet Models. Our friends of the Modeling News have a nice bit of coverage here. I believe I would have mentioned the Westwind Whirlwind, the 32nd scale, the FB Mark I, the fighter bomber. That's going to be their high-tech kit, and that comes with all the goodies. 3D printed, resin.
Yeah, this has been out for a while. Yeah, they've had this kit for quite a few years now.
Yeah, this is the fighter kit, and then they're just doing the bomber version now.
Yeah,
look at all the goodies. Look at all the goodies you get. 10 styrene sprues, home clear parts, photo etch, set of 3D printed parts and resin parts. For the cockpit, you can also leave the nose section open to show the cannon. 4 green and gray RAF markings. It's a nice looking aircraft. I've actually got one, and I've got the old Airfix one as a 72nd scale as a paint mule right now, because it was just very basic.
Yeah,
not like this detail at all. Our local hobby shop, Rockdale's, he's got the fighter version behind the till. If I had room, I always like the design of this.
It is. It's a pretty plane.
Yeah, very pretty. Look at all the goodies you get in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those planes where you look at it and it's mostly, you get a sense that it's almost all engine.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you think of the Meteor and these others, like the Tiger Cat, these single seat twin engine fighters. And it's like, look at them from the front aspect, and it's like, yeah, most of the frontal surfaces is engine.
His engine, yeah, exactly.
Okay, then I love this one. Special hobby, the P-40M Warhawk, and in quotes, involuntarily from Russia to Finland. Captured Russian units. Landed, so when a new machine was being flown over to the unit, its pilot got lost, landed by mistake on Finnish territory, and both the machine and pilot were captured. But they did get the machine to airworthy condition.
Is that I'm looking at the pictures on the box cover, that Finnish rondelle?
Yeah, no, it's something's missing.
I remember this being a swastika.
Yeah, something's missing. Something's missing for the picture.
Remember the European laws, though, so you'll get the swastika in 2 pieces.
Yeah,
I see.
They just don't have it in the picture. Yeah, they just don't have it in the picture. But this looks like a nice one. 1/72nd scale, $22. Fairly reasonable. Looks nice. So you get 2 Finnish schemes and a Russian scheme. And you can get available mass separately and accessory sets for it.
Wonder how this compares to the newer mold Airfix one.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have the Airfix one, so I never was.
No, I'm thinking of the one I'm thinking of is 148. So never.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I don't mind the P-40. I've just never built one. Not my.
The Airfix 48 scale early ones are very nice kit.
Yeah.
I've got one hidden somewhere here.
Okay, then Planet Models in the tiny scale, 1/72nd, the Fordson WOT-2E 15-ton truck, wooden cargo bed.
Let's not call it the tiny scale. Let's call it Stuart's favorite scale for vehicles.
Stuart's scale where he swears a lot. This is why
this is 3D printed, so
this is why Stuart doesn't have that many 72nd scale aircraft yet. He won't be buying too many more. World War II, at least, for that reason as well. But yeah, nice. They got resin. Nice resin parts, 3D printed. Again, nice little build-up showing you the photo etch and everything, all the different parts.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a truck.
It's a truck.
It's a truck. It's a nice for 1/72nd. Like you look at the zoom in pictures.
Yeah,
it does look really good.
I wish I could get my. I hope my Musaru Cup could look that good, but my Musaru Cup. Look at the one with the door open. You can see it's got the gear shift and the bloody handbrake.
Photo etch is your friend, Stuart.
And the handbrake's probably 3 parts or something just to annoy me.
Yeah.
All right.
It's amazing.
Nice.
That's really
nice. Okay, next up is, and I know Special Hobby's been talking about this, is the F-84F, the U.S. swept wing, the Thunderstreak 172nd.
Yes.
They've got a bunch of these out. They really like it for those people that are into that. Yep.
that's
Very
really
nice. Yep. Served
Look-
overseas, served all over the world, actually.
They had some colorful birds too. That was kind of
Yeah.
nice. A
Yeah.
nice vehicle.
Yeah. And again,
built
you can get pre-cut paint masks. Sorry, Geoff.
I built years ago. I built the monogram 148 version of
Mhm.
this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my first attempt at weathering, and I weathered it so well that it honestly looks like something that got stuck in the Davis Montan base for about 40 years.
Excellent. Well done. All right. Also tiny figures. The Martyr Tank Destroyer Commander and Gunner, 172nd scale, 2 figures. Good for your Martyr. It can be used with anything with an open top pretty well. Yeah, they'll be available on their Special Hobby website from Hobby Link Japan.
There you
So
go.
definitely worth checking out. Okay, then our good friends at Barracuda.
That's 172. That's amazing. Never mind. Okay.
Okay, speaking of amazing, more amazing stuff from Barracuda.
I hate
So-
looking at Barracuda stuff. I hate it because it just makes me
You
crazy.
want to buy. I know. So how about Spitfire early control kit columns? 3 of them. Look at that's 172nd.
That's
Look at the detail.
72nd scale.
Yeah, you're going to need a magnifying glass to look in at it, but it's there.
That's insane. It's so good.
And it features the round single trigger switches because, yeah, the Mark II through to the Mark 5A had that. You got the
What I like
pneumatic
about it
hoses.
is they give you 3
Yeah,
in slightly different
yeah,
orientation. So you can, like, if you take the one on the left, you're going to have to twist the ailerons a little
Yep,
bit to line up with that.
exactly. Yep, which I like. And then they've got the late ones, obviously, because if you have the early ones, you got to
Yeah,
have
you
the
gotta
late
have
ones
it.
for the Canon ones. Yeah, had the rectangular 3-position trigger switch with
Yeah.
the Mark V on, including the photo recom. Very nice. And then you've got RAF small boat containers, incendiary sticks,
Small
highly
bomb
detailed,
container.
250 small bomb containers.
Wow.
Yeah, the 4-pound incendiary stick bombs. So these were equipped when they went after the cities, caused the firestorm.
So they were preloaded
Yeah,
at the factory, so all
Yeah.
the guys had to do was hang them.
yeah, they just hung them. So basically, a full load would be a giant cookie bomb, which is a very big, heavy bomb, and 14 of these.
Huh.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then there's the 30-pounders bombs. So each container is loaded with 8 of those. So that would
Fascinating.
consist of a cookie and 14 of those. And then you've got the 48 scale one of both
Wow.
for your 48 scale Lancaster. Yeah, that does look nice, especially the 48. Those are very nice. And then you've got the Mustang Diamond Tread main wheels for your P51 and 48 scale. And they
Nice.
put the hubs separate.
Yep. Very nice. I love the raised
Yeah, you get the
molded on.
see-through effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they've
Goodyear.
they got the
Yep.
block tread main wheels as well.
Very nice.
And then Sea Fury landing gear for your Sea Fury and 48 scale. That's been a very popular kit. That's for the Airfix kit. 3D and a tough ABS like
Ooh.
resin, stronger than the kit parts, but not bulletproof like brass parts. The advantage is the superior detail and smooth texture and seam-free surfaces.
That's
Maybe
beautiful.
updated.
Jeff.
Yeah,
I may have to consider that.
there you go. And then we have the D3A, the valve, the prop hub upgrade set for the 32nd scale valve that was just been released.
A prop hub upgrade. That's amazing.
Well,
Well, we're getting
32nd
this-
scale, it's kind of sticks out, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing about 32nd. You can see a lot more detail where 72nd, yeah. If you're unless you're going literally right up into the cockpit of the Spitfire, only the builder is going to know all that detail. And that's fine. But 32nd, you start really, some things fail the 3-foot rule, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the prop's it's sitting right out there.
It's sitting right out there.
There's no spinner hub or anything on those.
Yep.
Nope.
Okay, going from 32nd scale down to 1:144, we have the U-96 Das Boot, the one feature. This was the Mark 7C U-boat. This is new from a company called Neverland Models or Neverland Hobby. So yeah, this was U-96. So the film and book Das Boot 1:144. So it's a snap kit, and it's 46 centimeters in length. So yeah, good size. It'll fit nicely.
Not a lot of parts.
They're CAD drawings, so it's tough to tell. It says
True.
no painting is required, so it is done in colored plastic.
Yep. So they're obviously offering that for some people who just want like a desktop model, and yeah. But you can paint
I imagine there are a lot of folks that go for that.
Oh wait,
in 1144? Sure.
Yeah. Oh, with fun features, it'll launch the torpedo for you.
Woo!
And frankly, from a diorama perspective, if you're going to dunk this thing in a sea of resin, then you don't necessarily want to have the big, super detailed one. You want something that's going to fit in your story.
You know what? But if you look at the cat on the side there, you got the ballast vents, and they've done a nice job on here.
No, it looks really good.
Very nice indeed.
Great movie. You can watch the movie while you're building it.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fantastic movie. I learned so much from it. Okay, from our good friends at Arma. Just when I already have one in the stash, now they're tempting me with another one. This is our Arma Hobbies, if you can believe it, is 10 years old this quarter. So to celebrate, they have the 148th Mark II Hurricane, the Mark II-C. This was used in Operation Jubilee during the DEP raid. And it's got plastic masks and some 3D printed parts. Again, they've basically taken the standard tropical, the Mark II, and they released it. They have a couple of 3D printed parts, 3 new decal choices. They say a simple but decaled kit. Yeah, looking at my instructions on mine, it's detailed, quote unquote. You have canopy and wheel masts are included, and you've got 3 different decal options. So one from 87 Squadron, one from 43 Squadron, and one from number 3 Squadron. The one from number 3, unfortunately, was shot down, and the pilot did pass away. So yeah.
Nice.
Some nice looking schemes. Again, the night scheme. I think I'm going to do the night fighter scheme for the one I have, because I haven't done one, and it just looks very evil looking in that off black. So that's going to be a nice kit. Again, with some nice little goodies and bonuses. So I think people are going to enjoy that from our very good friends of Arma. All right. Next up is a book I saw. So Osprey does an amazing number of books. They've been around for eons. Osprey Publishing, anything historical, military from like ancient times and up. If there's an Osprey book, it's usually on a person's, you want to read it. This one is called, it's 70 Years of the U.S. Navy's Nuclear Submarines. So it goes all the way up to the 2020 Columbus class SSBNs, and the author is James Goodall. This looks like a very good read. Covers all the 220 plus submarine hulls built and delivered from the USS Nautilus new to the newest class. So yeah, this looks like if you're a sub person, you're gonna want to check this out. I still want to get some subs at some point.
I was surprised that there's 220 plus sub hulls built in the last 70 years by the U.S. alone. That is amazing. That's a huge number.
Yep. I play this game on my PC called Cold Waters. It's like the old Harpoon game where you're like, you're in dodging thermals and you're using sonar. And the community's made a thing coming called .mod, and they've expanded with all the different ships and subs. So you can, for example, take, it's not only subs, but you can also have surface warships. So you could have the USS New Jersey take on a Kirov class. It becomes a missile and gun battle. Or the game, like you can pilot the Seawolf against the latest Chinese subs. It's a very good game. And I've always liked, I was a big fan of submarines way back from Red Storm Rising to the Hunt for Red October. So this will be a good book. So yeah, very, very nice.
Yeah, looks like it. Osprey's.
Well, I don't know. It looks like it might be a good book. Maybe they should send us a review copy.
I keep saying that, but then there's that damn restraining order again, Geoff. That's the problem, Okay, then we have a review because we had Chris Wallace on, in a previous episode, and we know he loves his Corsair, so he'll appreciate this. We talked about this, the 2-in-1 Magic Factory Corsair in 1/48 scale, the F4U 1A2. So someone from the Modeling News has done a inbox review. This is from Magic Factory, and they're out of China. This is their first aircraft release, and you can have parts to build both an F4U 1A and an F4U2 Night Fighter version. Yeah, looks good. You can build it with wings folded or extension, flaps up or down, full R2800 engine, and cowling flats and open or close, cartograph decals, 4 sets of markings. The only PE is seat belts, and you do have a paint mask for the outside. Again, so yeah, if you went through it, boxing as well, full color instructions, paint masks are gorgeous. Yeah. So basically, yeah. So basically, only enough parts are provided that you can only build one of each. So you can't build 2 of one.
Right.
One of each. You get one extended and one folded. And the extended wings are designed to only allow the flaps to display deployed down. And then, yeah, so which makes sense. Both open and closed gun cowling flaps option for both kits are included. Wing gun bays are provided open if you want. If you're not, you glue the covers in place. They say the fit's excellent. So yeah, some instructions there showing that, pretty detailed looking and
Yeah.
pretty clear.
Tom Cleaver's working on one for
Is he?
Yeah, for Modeling Madness.
Oh,
So
good. Okay.
he said there were some early reviews based on bad cell phone pictures. So great.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Yeah, no, this looks good. He's the reviewer here. He shows us the cockpit. Looks good. Yeah. So nice little inbox review if you're considering it. And again, good view of the photo etch. Basically seatbelts. Yeah, they go in well. And then he's also looks like he's also done an ultracast seat. You wanted to try that.
This is the way a good review should be done, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pictures, a lot of detail. He's pointing out some specific issues. He's not sort of making a big deal about small things. No, this is really a well done job. Yeah, it's an excellent job. Again, for people thinking about it, I think you can definitely be assured you're going to have the engine details gorgeous. You're going to have some nice things, and they include some nice pictures as well. Yeah. So, the Modeling News has always been good for that. It's one of our go-tos. That engine's gorgeous, but my God, painting it will be fun. Wow.
No, they're usually not too bad.
Oh, I know. Just a lot of work. That's all. You want to make it, you want to do it. You want to do it right. That's all I'm saying. Give it a good color and then a wash and you're done. I'll do it in pink. I'll do it in pink. There you go. Yeah, the Barbie Corsair. The Barbie Corsair. My wife will love it. My wife will absolutely love it. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be, it'll be interesting if I haven't seen anyone compare it to the Tamiya, which right now seems to be the go-to, but I think if it doesn't beat it, it's got some pretty close competition there now. So, which is always good.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Now, this is a regular website we go to on our build nights. Our good friends at Model Factory Hero. If you want the wingnut wings of car modeling, you just go here. They've announced their 1/12 scale full detail kits, the McLaren MP4 and 5. That carried the Honda V10 engine, the strongest at the time, Ayrton Senna and Prost. Fully detailed multi-material featuring white metal, resin, etching, turn parts, rubber parts, silk screen decals, and various cords, allowing for maximum representation of the original vehicle. All versions. And
that's something else.
Just look at the decals and the detail shots. Yeah. Oh. I don't see a price for it, do I? No price yet, but it'll be up there, but it'll be a mortgage. It'll be a mortgage, but again, the people that do this and do it well, what can you say?
Yeah, and they apparently at Model Factory Hero have a customer's gallery.
Oh yes,
should you wish
gorgeous.
To look
we've drooled through that, and then I've gone
through that before.
This is in general, it's a dangerous website. They have the engine kit series, so if you just want to build an engine, you can build a 1/12 Lotus 97 engine for all yours for looks like 23,000 yen. So what would that be? 23 or $230?
It's about roughly 100.
Okay.
Exactly what it is now, but it's roughly 100.
So 253 parts there, or 23 $230 for the 1/12 Lotus engine, for example. But yeah, it's a dangerous site. But again, if you like cars and you really want to detail your stuff up, go
Amazing.
nuts. I want to see pictures of your builds, everyone. Just
Yeah.
gorgeous. Just
Speaking
gorgeous.
of pictures of your builds, going on to the next item.
Ah, yes. What do we have next, my friend? Ah, yes, the Metropolis. So our good friends. Go ahead.
Mariah.
Yeah. From the old. Wouldn't it be neat if the things move up and down? That would have been cool.
That's what I was just
the
thinking.
movie. Yeah, I'm sure someone will do it. Even money, someone will do it at Wonderfest.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know quite how you do it though. I guess you'd have to. Anyway,
figure out. Yeah, someone will figure out. So this is the robot Maria from the movie Metropolis. Our good friends and sponsor at Call TV Man starting a pre-order. Early bird price $64.99 US. You can reserve it now. Again, they built some other ones, but she's always been standing. But this is gorgeous. I remember this movie very well.
Yeah, but definitely the selling feature on this are those rings. If you could figure out how to light them up and make them work, that would be very cool.
Yep. Well, again, I wouldn't be surprised if someone's already thinking about it.
I'm sure.
I'll have to check with Steve, see if he hears about anyone doing it, or when you're down at Wonderfest area, you'll have to see and let us know. Yeah, that is gorgeous as well. I had to include that because I saw that. I went, that is so neat. Okay, rumors from our good friend Edouard, and I am surprised no one's done an updated kit in 1/48 of this earlier. The Stuka. Edouard's going to be doing a bunch, looks like. So they've announced that they're going to do at least a 48 scale starting. Not much there, but just you got some the JU-87's about to appear, and they say as a newly tooled family. And as they say there's been some lack of serious releases. And because it's Edward, we can expect Profi Pack, weekend edition, potentially a Royal Class set, and there'll be a lot of aftermarket. Because there's not that many. I know Airfix does a 48th. I don't know who else does one. Revell maybe? I'm not sure, but yeah. But Mortality.
They're saying that they're going to be much, much better than Italeri or Airfix.
Oh yeah, well, exactly. And coming from them,
that's a slap in the face.
Yep. And
they're also talking about doing a family of them.
Yeah,
just
so
like
there'll be a bunch of
others.
different ones. Yeah, you'll have the Tank Hunter. You'll have the all sorts.
Well, with with any of these planes, I mean, frankly, you engineer it right. That's the only thing you can do because there's so many different variables and versions.
Yep. And the aftermarket.
Use the core mold for the base, and then you have a separate sprue with all the little extra bits.
Well, and I think that's what they're showing here when you look at some of the initial CAD shots or the scanning. Looks like they scanned. This is a scan shot. That's what they did. They went to this museum and they've scanned it. This is the scan. This isn't the CAD. But so what's happening is someone said, we went there and took some scans of it. So you know what's going to happen. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's going to be exciting for World War II German ones. Okay. And, our local library here in London, it's Dinosaur Month. So I couldn't because I used to be on the board, I couldn't let this one go. Bandai Spirits has a new dinosaur. And it's one of their Planosaurus Ankylosaurus. I need a small child to pronounce it.
Ankylosaurus.
All the kids know how to pronounce it, but this is one of their cool ones where you build the skeleton and then you put the plates on top.
Right.
The skin and everything. They've had a few other one of these ones.
I see him at the hobby shop every meeting, and I'm like, do I buy one? Do I not buy one?
It's kind of cool. Yeah. If I saw one for the good deal, I'd probably get it. It's just like the old, what is it? Tamiya did the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
But it's designed, I think it's Snap, but it's designed for 6 and above.
Yeah, they're simplified.
Yeah, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. And because it's Bandai, it's going to be excellent quality. Okay, back to cars briefly. I saw this on ScaleMates. And again, this is one of those things like, how come no one ever hasn't 3D printed or resin this before? Back in the 80s, you always had the drivers in time trials. They stuck the TV monitor in front of the driver's windscreen, so he could see the times that were coming while they were refueling the car or whatever back in the 80s. So this is exactly what this is, an 80s F1 model. of the monitor with the stand and everything. Looks like this one's designed for the Lotus 99T, the 112th, but you can probably put it on whatever. Yeah. And again, it's one of those things
Cool.
like, how come no one ever did this before?
Well, because 3D printing has finally come of age.
Yep. I don't know exactly. It's from a company called Zoom On. Do you have any F1s in your stash, my friend, Geoff?
Me? I just got the Lotus 89.
Right.
Mid 60s cigar.
That's right. I had the Ferrari I built, but then I sold the other one, the other Lotus. At some point, I should get it. It wasn't enjoyable. I'd never built it to me, and I always remember seeing them in the catalogs, and they looked really, really cool, and it was a fun kit to build. But it was a lot of work, complex, and this was the 120th, I believe, I'd built. So yeah, the 112th would be even more. But again, I've seen what people do with them. It's just absolutely amazing. So
yeah, I mean, I've got some kits cheap. I've always just planned to use for kit bash parts.
Yep.
Those and some motorcycles, some great parts in those.
Exactly. Okay. Our good friends at JetMads, home of the insane 32nd scale jets. You can now pre-order your J35J Draken. They were talking about this a while ago. There's only going to be 500 produced. Export versions with little or external differences, such as the Finnish, Austrian, and Danish aircraft will be included in this release. I didn't realize other countries use the Draken. Pre-orders are now open. Listing price $345 US, but it will be offered with a 20% discount at $276 US during the pre-order, plus $6 for shipping. That's cheap for shipping.
Not $6, $56.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a dollar sign. Yes, I'm sorry. I did think that seemed cheap. It seemed awfully cheap. I think they're giving you a deal on shipping, right?
Wow.
What century was that?
Yeah. So looks like they want to get some idea of demand. The current design is currently in progress with surfacing and finishing touches being worked on, scheduled for late March.
Look at that. Look at the clarity of that air intake.
Oh, I know.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah, universally, there's nothing but praise for these JetMads kits.
And you got to watch that pilot too, because you'll stab yourself.
Yeah.
They got the F2H Phantom on their page as well. That's coming later. So yeah. So anyway, for those of you who like to do that, they do some gorgeous things. Yeah, they
really do.
Yeah, they've done. If you look at the latest release, they got the Learjet, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say nice things about them, but I haven't had a chance to actually see one in person. So perhaps a review kit would be a good idea.
There you go.
Well, you know what they're planning? They're also saying future release 1/18th scale. They have an A4 Skyhawk, an A37 Dragonfly, and an F5A Freedom Fighter. So they're talking bigger. I know they're talking bigger as well. Well, because
1-to-1 models.
I knew they're big and they sold out. The X3 they sold out. They pretty well sold out of
X3.
everything. Yeah, another one. If you drop and you can stab yourself in the foot. But they do have the D5582 Skyrocket still available. And they want to do an F-22 Raptor in 32nd and a SNC ASO S0.9000 Trident.
Huh.
That looks very nice too. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's another dangerous site to get distracted on. Okay, our good friends at ScaleMates, as we look at what's new. We're recording this on the 30th. What's new tool? What do we got here? We got under the 30th, a Fiat SPA TM40 135th. It looks like a seriously jacked truck.
Yes. Very nice little Italian
a lot of parts.
Desert sort of truck.
With big wheels.
Yes, well, that's the desert wheels, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have a Volvo from IXO Models, a Volvo 122S and 1/8, and a Bugatti 57 Atlantic.
Wow. That's a beauty. That's Bugatti.
Yeah, 1/8, the Rothschild, 1936, Geoff.
Nice.
Let's see, some
that's
launches.
Like art on wheels.
Yes.
Oh, look, bakery products.
From our good friends at Mini Art. See, you can have the whole meal now.
Say what you will, but Mini Art, man, they just keep doing this
Everything
stuff.
you need, yeah.
It's great.
I think it is too. Then we have from Very Fire, the USS Cleveland, 1/700th.
Techno Models, another 3D printed racer.
Yep.
Wendell
The
Williams.
Williams, yep, 1/48 scale. That looks nice. And then on the 29th, I haven't heard a lot about this company. They're out of China, SS Model 1/350th. And they look like they're doing almost every battleship known to man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at them.
they added a bunch to the database, but they do have some from earlier. And they're doing a lot. They're out of China. But yeah, a lot of stuff you haven't heard of, heavy cruisers and battleships. So, something to
They've got
look
some
at.
really odd and interesting ones. Like this Dante Alighieri is a cool looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3D printing.
Valve.
Apparently it's 3D printed. Yeah.
Okay. That's like a post dreadnought
Yeah.
design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably print on demand. Exactly.
Huh.
Yep. And then if we go down, yeah, it's kind of cool. 28th, we got the Lambo 550. We have the Bandai dinosaurs we talked about. A lot of stuff from Metal Earth. Oh, I like this one. 1-144, the Harbor Defense Motor Launch from 1943.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got a bunch of the things we've already talked about here.
Yeah, the McLaren. Yeah, I know. See,
we're right on top of things, man.
Once in a while, we actually, do. Let's see. The 1/350. It's a B6 N2 Tenzin attack bomber from Bunker Studio for your Japanese carrier. And this is the other one on the 25th. Iron Shipwrights has been coming out with a couple of new subs. They do a lot of older subs. So USS Sailfish and Seawolf. This is the Seawolf from the 50s. This isn't the 90s Seawolf.
Yeah.
Blackbird model. They have a Horton HO10 Mark 10. Super Build Tiger. Yeah, all sorts of goodies. And then we have
this I guess it's Polish, the PZL 104 Wilga. Looks like a crop dusting plane.
Yes.
Yeah, agricultural plane. Yeah.
Agricultural plane. That would be fun to mess around with. You could have a lot of fun weathering that.
Yep. And then if I go down to the 23rd, the Modern Naval Research, again, some new subjects. 1/700th, 3 Imperial Chinese Navies, a wooden gunship, a cruiser, or 2 different wooden gunships, I should say.
Oh, look at those.
And then the 22nd, we have Jules Verne's Nautilus, 1/350th scale.
Yeah, very nice.
Isn't that cool? Looks like a giant cigar. Don't smoke it. Anyway, so that's about all. Hang on, the Lucograph. Did we talk about these? No, we didn't. The Lucograph for the 20th, the Han Riot HD 1 and 2 and 1/24th.
On Rio.
Okay.
Rio.
Rio? Okay.
Yes.
Rio.
I keep wanting to buy something from Lucograph.
Well, how about the Albatross D3?
Yeah.
Looks nice too. And then
those are in 24th scale.
I know they'll be big.
Yeah.
And then just above that, the border model Grizzly battle tank. This is from Red Alert 2, actually. So this is a sci-fi that was in a video game.
Oh, you missed the Dogram.
Well,
you missed the Bigfoot. That's the Battle Master in BattleTech. In 72nd.
Where's
just
that?
above the Soltic. It looks purple.
On what date?
It's just under the Albatross.
Oh,
just
right there.
Beneath the Albatross. Yep. All right. I gotta get a Soltic.
Okay. Yep.
I gotta get a Bigfoot.
Everyone's got to get a Bigfoot.
That's a big foot.
What's
his cod piece like, Geoff?
Yeah, the way they've taken, he's got a real boxy one, but the way they've taken this picture, it's hidden. It's just,
okay.
It's done with appropriate, concern for the.
Just making sure. Yeah, that does look nice. 1/72nd scale. That'll be big as well. From our friends at Max Factory. From Fang of the Sun Dugram.
Yeah, the Dogram series. I've got to find that somewhere.
I assume that's an anime, not just a.
Yeah, from back in the early 80s.
Back in the days. All right. Yeah, well, that looks cool. You can never have too many mechs. Okay. And as well as you can't have too many of. Let's talk our good friend Steve from Cult TV Man. He was at the big show in Atlanta and he had some cool pictures from there, but let's see what else is happening with him. Stuart here from the Scale Model Podcast with the latest news from our good friends at Cult TV Man and CultTVManShop.com. Lots of exciting things. Steve's got a bunch of new products at CultTVManShop.com. A few reissues and a few other things. First of all, the spinner car from Fujimi from Blade Runner. I actually have this kit. This is a great kit. I'm going to have some fun with this one. It's now available for $51.99. Also from Lost in Space Athena, the girl from the Green Dimension 1/6 scale, and also Lost in Space Naoni, the Amazonian alien in 1/6. Those are both now available to order. You can join the waiting list. Our good friends at Paragraphics have the Shuttlecraft detail set in 1/32 scale. That's for the classic Shuttlecraft, the photo etch, $34.99. You can join the waiting list. What else do we have here? We have Sinbad the Sailor reissue from Monarch. That's in stock. How about Granny's Hot Rod from the Beverly Hillbillies? The George Barris Classic 1/25 scale, as well as a lot of other cool things. Additional things, he's got some news coming out. They're carrying some of the Horizon models, rockets. I've got a couple of them. Awesome kits. So you can pre-order the Atlas Agena from Horizon. They're just waiting on the final price, but you can pre-order it today. Also, the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus 1/35 scale to go along with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can pre-order that for $69.99. And the Enterprise from Strange New Worlds, the 1/1000 scale. Price still to be determined, but again, you can pre-order that. That's going to be a nice kit. And one we were still waiting to hear about from Mobius, the 2001 Space Station in 1/2600 scale. They're estimating it's going to come out very late this year or early next year. They're thinking somewhere between $150 and $145. So again, some other good goodies. Make sure you keep an eye on the website at CultTVManShop.com and CultTVMan.com for all the latest news for your sci-fi, fantasy, monsters, all those cool things. And tell them the Scale Model Podcast sent you. Okay, we're back. What's on the bench? Got a little bit more time the last 2 weeks. Managed to get the satellite done, the Hayabusa satellite.
Nice.
Yep, so that went together well. Like I said, the only thing that was annoying was the way the solar panels attach. They put two little nibs on the end of this bottom half of the solar panels, and they expect you to connect those two tiny little pieces with no guides, no pins, no nothing to the end of the spars, which, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
yeah,
the lack of gravity lets all sorts of designs
forgot when we're doing it.
Yeah.
We have gravity here on Earth. So in the end, what I did was I nipped and primed or sanded away that, and I just put the spars right on top. It may look slightly shorter than scale, but it works and it fits, and it super glued later, and it works very well. So that's my one warning to you, Geoff, when you get that kit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but no, fun little kit. I know some people have made their own photo etch, the actual radome, because the radome comes solid. If you wanted to spend a couple hours drilling out the individual bits to make it like more open, you could, but it still looks good. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of masking though. A lot of masking before you do the parts, but it was good. So now I've continued to work on the Musaru Klepp. It's very tiny. As I put in a post about this, it's a very challenging kit, and you got to do quite a bit of planning. It kind of reminds me of some Macross kits from Hasegawa. So, for example, the cab has quite a few parts, but several of them you have to do a bunch of stuff, prime, paint, and all that first, because then you've got to put the glass in for the windscreen, which is one part. And then you've got the seats and everything to put in, and they're different colors. So you really kind of have to plan it out. The instructions are very old school exploded views, and you have to be really careful. And yeah, the parts are very small. I've spent a few times under the table trying to find some tiny thing which has gone ping out of the tweezers. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the diorama. I think I'm definitely going to get at least some paint on it, and get something done with terms of some base paint. Then I'll figure out how to place it and camouflage it. I do have, as I've mentioned before, some HO scale sheep. So there might be some sort of lambs in the thing. We'll see. But yeah, tiny little kit. And I know it's proving a little bit challenging as these kits are by ICM to several of the other podcasters. Our friends down at Kentucky, Mike's been working on his and he's been reporting the same thing. So, and then I'm also working on some of the BattleTech minis I got last year. I'm trying a new technique a lot of the mini painters are talking about called slap chop. It's a really cool way of getting your armies on the table quick, but it also looks good. So what you do is you basically take your mini, you prime it in a dark color, like a dark black or a dark gray, and then you take a lighter gray and you very heavily dry brush it over the whole mini. So it almost looks like it's frosted. Then you do the same thing a little bit less with some white. And then you apply your contrast paint. So in my case, I've got the Army Painter, the Quick Painter stuff by Army Painter, Citadel, and makes their own various other manufacturers. And the idea is because these quick paints naturally pool, as I've talked about before, and they show highlights, between that and the dry brushing, you actually get on first coat a very good mini. Like quickly, that looks very passable. Now, as people say, you're not going to enter a contest with this, but as a base mini, and then you can add your details in that, it looks damn good. So I've got 3. I've dry brushed 2. I did try another one, but the quick painter I used way too deep a purple color, and I don't think I dry brushed enough. So I'm gonna redo that one. But I've got 2 more. One I'm going to do in a yellow, and the other one I think I'm going to do in a blue, maybe an ultramarine light blue. I've got Army Painters, the quick paints for those. So yeah, enjoying getting back into the minis as well. That's what I've been doing. Geoff, how about you?
Well, apart from all the travels, I've been playing around with this old Airfix kit that I picked up, and it's an old handled Page 0400, originally issued in 1968, and the kit I have is the actual 1968 pressing. It's a pretty good kit. I mean, I'm surprised. Although I bought this, as I've talked to Stuart about, I bought this from Facebook Marketplace, and it was with a bunch of other kits, and the person selling them had already started this, and they'd started it using tube glue. Scared. Halloween's coming. Tube glue. And so there were like some of the bits. He hadn't done much, but what he had done had been kind of bodged up, not terribly well. So it was really a matter of taking things apart, a lot of sanding. The wing rib detail on the original kit, if you worked it out to scale, it would be like every rib, you know how you normally just have a little indentation. Everyone would have been at least a 2x6 across the top.
That's all right.
So there's a lot of sanding. It took me back to my days building resin, that big 3D printed kits that I did for the Jet Aircraft Museum.
There you go.
A lot of sanding dust. But apart from that, there's several pieces missing from this kit that I didn't realize when I started building it, and they're relatively important pieces. And strangely enough, one of my fellow podcasters who shall remain nameless other than Stuart Clark happened to have one of these kits in his collection, and he felt suitably guilty, so he's volunteered to give it to me, which is great. I can actually use this kit now.
But what's the best thing? What was the best thing about it that was in the kit?
The best thing that was in this kit?
No, the one I'm giving you. The receipt.
The which?
The receipt.
Oh, the receipt. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was blinded because yours actually has figures in it and mine didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kit, Stuart picked it up from somebody and paid a huge price for it, I'm sure. But the kit was originally purchased from a hobby shop that we Canadians in the Ontario area will remember fondly from our youth, Keith's Hobby Shop, which was the mecca of hobby shops in North York, Toronto.
One of your old stomping grounds where you used to hang about.
It's always there all the time.
1972.
1970, and he bought this. Whoever bought this kit bought it in 1971 or something like that for $2.19.
Yeah. I thought that was, as soon as I saw the back then it was called North York Hobby. As soon as I saw that, I thought of Geoff, and I said, I got to give this to Geoff. It's just
North York Hobbies is a totally different hobby shop. It's over on Avenue Road.
Well, no, this is where it was bought. No, this was North York Hobbies.
Yeah.
The receipt's North York Hobbies.
No, it's Keith's.
Are you
Keith's
sure?
Hobby Shop.
I'm gonna look it up. I swore it said Avenue Road. Hang on, I'm going in my Google Photos in mine. No, the one I gave you, the one I'm giving you. North York
Oh, yeah,
Hobbies, 1910 Avenue Road.
I'm looking at another one.
You're looking at another one. No, this one was North York Hobbies.
Okay, well, that's Avenue Road.
1910 Avenue Road.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share the screen. 1970.
There you go, 261.
Look at that.
1970.
Isn't that
I
awesome?
apologize.
Yeah.
I thought it was Keith. Anyway, Keith, North York, I still have a Revell FW 200 Condor kit that I picked up at North York Hobbies back there.
And looking at the pictures, you're right about the thick 2x6s. Looking at the one I got here in the picture, yeah. But what a fun kit! What a fun kit!
Paint.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm sure they'll release it as a vintage classic eventually once Geoff gets his done.
What's really funny is I went online to try to, because I wanted to do a little bit more detailing of the cockpit area. There's not a lot of space here. It's 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. It's enough that you're going to see it because it's all open.
Right.
So I went online to look for photos and research pictures of the cockpit. What did I find? I found the CAD drawings for the 0400 produced by Wingnut Wings for the one that they were going to build.
Right.
And oh my God, that would have been amazing. And then I pulled out my Felixstowe kit. I have a 172 Felixstowe kit from Rodin, and compared it to this, it's tiny compared to this thing. Oh my God, the big Wingnuts Felixstowe is huge on its own. If they had come out with this 0400 in 1/32 scale, you would have been able to fly it to work. It's insane. Anyway,
you're gonna have fun with that. I'm gonna have to see if there's anything in my electronic library for you in terms of reference. I don't think I do.
I found some great stuff. From old model aircraft magazine had a detailed lots of shop drawings from the 1914 to 1918. So it worked out pretty well. There's a benefit to indexing your research material, fellow listeners. The benefit is you might actually find something that you've got.
No kidding.
Yep, exactly. Nope, that'll be fun.
That's me.
Well, you also got a something behind you.
Oh yeah,
we already talked about.
Well, my wife and I started looking at our home and feeling that we needed to do some changes and move some furniture around. And she didn't like.
Really, that wasn't we. That was her.
Well, no, it was me too at the end result, because look what I got behind me.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
So, like most people, we had a dining room sideboard with a top and bottom. The top was a display cabinet, lights and mirror and everything and glass, and the bottom was like a bunch of drawers and doors and stuff you can store your stuff that you never use in.
Yeah.
And so my wife didn't like the top part, and it had all my grandmother's china in it, and we really would never use it. So we stuck that away to figure out who we can chase that off onto. And then we decided, okay, well, I can take the top piece and move it down to my modeling area and stick it on top of another bookcase. And it doesn't quite work as far as furniture. Like it looks
fine. It looks fine. It's got that.
It's a hobby room.
It's a man
cave.
Feng
Shui is not perfect, but it works. It functions with everything else. Nothing else matches here.
And you can put your stuff in it. So
that's right.
I'd kill for more. I've actually got my wife's. We've got our buffet from her mom down in our basement, and eventually she wants to take it up and put both parts in her craft room. So no chance I'm getting that. I tried to suggest it would work well here, and then I got the look.
Well, I mean, you can tell her that until she's able to carry it upstairs, you can probably use it downstairs.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to fly either. You got to remember that. Yeah, remember she has knitting needles, sharp, pointy sticks, and she knows where I sleep. You got to remember that. So does yours. This is why we stay on the good side. She does. You're right. I have to correct myself, correct my behavior. That's right. My wrong thinking, my wrong-headed thinking. That's all right. That's all right. just reminding you. Awesome. Okay, Terry, how about you, my friend?
Not a huge amount of stuff going on. I've done a little bit on the Aldrin class. I need to get back in now that it's going to be colder outside and such. I can probably get some more work done. At the meeting last 2 weekends ago, I was able to get some parts pinned together and such. I think we had a meeting after that. We had a recording after that meeting. So we talked about that already. But I've got to get my reinforcements in there, and then I can start painting that thing. So it's at the point where I can start painting it
That'll be good.
and
Yeah.
figuring that out.
No, it'll look good. It'll look
Trek
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Beyond that, building that little cabinet for the little chest for the paint racks.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be nice. My mom's been bugging my dad to get rid of stuff. He's got all this scrap wood. It's like, take some scrap wood home with you. It's like, I've got more
Please.
scrap wood than dad does.
But you're a good son, and
we used two whole pieces of scrap wood making this.
There you go. You're a good son. Your mother.
That's an amazing achievement.
We all listen to others, and because you're doing the 3D paint racks for the Pro Acryl set. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think of those paints. I've seen them at the gaming store, and
I've heard a lot of good stuff about them.
Yeah.
So I look forward to using them. It's just that these racks aren't going to work for it. They're too tight. So
that's what
prototyping is all about. A little bit bigger.
That's what prototyping is all about.
No big deal.
You'll find something for them. So very good.
Yeah.
All right. What are we reading? I'm in a science astronomy kick right now. I've got Starry Messenger, Cosmic Perspectives on Civilization by Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I've also got, that's an ebook. My physical book I read for like half an hour before I go to bed is The Universe in a Mirror, The Saga of the Hubble Space Telescopes and the Visionaries Who Built It by Robert Zimmerman. That's kind of a neat one. It's kind of goes behind the scenes. You get a lot of the business and the political side, but you see the effort they had to do over decades to convince Congress and NASA and all that to build Hubble. So, there is some dry parts, but I kind of like that stuff. I find that very fascinating. And the other one I noticed the other day when I went into my library was, I just got to find it now, is by Coming of Age in the Milky Way. And that's been rather interesting. That's by Timothy Ferris. And I've read some of his other stuff. And he's always been a good astronomy writer. And this is all about kind of the historical guys from Socrates and all the way back and all the way forward. So I just started to read that. He always has a funny writing style. So that's what I'm kind of going by. I don't have any fiction on the go right now. Usually I do, but I saw this one. I had to pick it up from the ebook from the library. So kind of going through that. Geoff, what about you?
You don't have to apologize for not having any fiction on the go. I mean, I don't have any books on the go. Well, I got a ton on the go, but I haven't actually been reading them for the last 3-4 weeks. What I've been doing is sort of obliquely referenced it, is inventorying all of my modeling research material for the last month. I just put together a quick database and started loading stuff into it. And I'm up to over 3,000 entries now, and it's actually functional. It's surprisingly functional. Just sort of type in the machine you want, and boom, you get all these references. And what I found fascinating is that I go through it, going through all the inputting of information from all these different sources and magazines and books and whatever else. It's amazing how many people really thought the Spitfire was impressive, or the Mustang, or maybe the B-25 Mitchell. I mean, there are other aircraft or vehicles even that are just, it's a desert of information on them, and yet on these things, like the Phantom, F-4 Phantom, just insane the number of articles there are about these aircraft.
Insane the number of kits, right? The stuff that sells. Stuff
very representative.
Well, we've been through that. The popular kits are the ones that, people, the marquee aircraft and vehicles and such, and it's all these underserved subjects out there that some of them were significant aircraft and vehicles.
Yeah,
but I think
just never modeled.
I think,
at least not in any big scale.
I really get a kick when I come across
Geoff.
something that I haven't seen before, heard before, or I knew a little bit about it, but I haven't known too much about it. And those are the ones that really turn my crank. I mean, frankly, the weird things, the interesting things.
But I think now, these days, with self-publishing and the ability to do ebooks, I think we're starting to see some of these weirder and not covered well subjects starting to come out. And pretty well anyone can publish a book now and get it out there. So I think we are seeing some holes being filled, just like we're seeing, you look at some of the kits we were looking at tonight. some things in 3D printed of subjects that would have never been economical to make 10,000 shots of, where now
One of the
a cottage modeler can do 100 and still make money.
in this collection of magazines, which I got like thousands, literally thousands of magazines, all in pristine condition, was a whole massive number of the Smithsonian Institution Air and Space magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the National Geographic of air and space magazines. Yeah. They go into really good detailed stories, great pictures, great information. And then one of the early ones, they had a 3-part series on aircraft and vehicles of the comics, and the pulps, and the pulps, and with the pictures in full color and the story about them. And,
I love it.
Those ones really, I started getting all mojo-y looking at those, thinking, oh, I could take a P-40 and we could do this and that and put swept wings on it, and that would be fun. But anyway, that kind of stuff is kind of fun. So that's what I've been digging into, mostly just I'll start inputting the stories from the index of the magazine, and then I'll say, oh, I should read that. And then I'll go off and read for a half an hour.
Squirrel. It's a good thing you're retired, right?
It's pretty bad. That part's pretty bad.
Yeah. Awesome. Terry, what about you?
I am deep into Ed Yong's An Immense World about Umwelt of animals going through vision and such, and I've read some stuff about this before, and I'm still agog at how much has been done otherwise. And even just the introductory chapter was a lot of information on just how different things are between us, and we forget we always think of ourselves, right, as our dogs see like us, just they're colorblind. Well, they're not colorblind. But no, they don't see like us. Their acuity is our acuity is very, very different. It's much. If I take my glasses off, then it's more like my dogs see. But I like to focus on words and not just see globs of words. It's a very interesting book. It's a deep dive, but it's a deep dive that is just an introduction. It's amazing. Beyond that, I think I'm on finishing up the second book of the 2015 series of Constantine, the Hellblazer series with John Constantine. So there's one more after that, and then I think it's current. So we'll have to see.
Well, I was trying to remember, because last time we were talking, I thought I saw something, but apparently they did relaunch as part of the Sandman universe in 2019. It was written by Simon Spurr and illustrated by Aaron Campbell.
Yeah, there's another series.
There's 12 issues.
Is the 2015 to 2018
You got the 2015.
series.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
I see that one. I had to play a little bit of catch up because I didn't realize they had so many of them.
They lock together. This one is a bit of a departure from the earlier ones, but it picks up sort of after that.
Cool.
The first two series are lockstep. Not as much as Lucifer, but pretty similar.
I have so many comic series I have to catch up on. I'm not even going to start.
So I've online, if you subscribe to Comixology through Amazon, a lot of this stuff is included in the subscription.
I just don't have time to read it with everything else. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can read essentially one book before bedtime.
Yeah, exactly. See, I need to be independently wealthy and clone myself so I can read all this wonderful content and stuff I'm catching.
You know what happens though? Yeah, you think your clone is going to get all their stuff done at home, and
it doesn't.
It's not. He's going to be eating Doritos and playing video games.
Exactly.
And you're going to be jealous of him,
or maybe fooling around with the wife or something, right?
Let's be honest. Your clone is just another you, so it's
exactly. What?
Yeah. God help us. God, what are we going to do? Yeah, I may have to change some stuff there. All righty. So let's also talk about another guy who was at the welcome show, our good friend at Sean's Custom Model Tools. Let's hear what's happening there. Now we're going to talk a bit about Sean's Custom Model Tools, one of our other sponsors of the Scale Model Podcast. Some very cool things, both 3D printed and the Goodman Super Sanding Blocks. Let's start with the Microset and Microsole decal set bottle stand. This is purposely designed for the microscale set and sole. Most modelers over the years, they've tipped these bottles over. So this is a very handy thing. At $14.95, you can put them both together. They're printed in blue and red for easy identification. Comes with a black base, and they actually have little magnets on it, so it helps keeps them in place. Definitely a good deal. I use mine all the time, and I can well recommend them. Let's talk a bit about those Goodman Model Super Sanding Blocks, namely the Value Pack Combo for $28.99. You get the 80 grit, 180 grit, 220, 320, 400, and 600. Just an amazing set, just what you need. And you can also, if you want, you can also get a super sanding block stand for it, which also really makes life a little bit easier, helps things keep it organized. The other thing too is they have the awesome model tape dispenser for your various tapes. It's basically a 3D printed thing. You put spools of your tapes. It's got a little razor blade to help cut it, and it's really, really good design. So yeah, works out really well, and yours for $19.95. So check out these and other amazing deals at Sean'sCustomModelTools.com, and also on Facebook, and tell them that the Scale Model Podcast sent you. All right, couple of things we've seen. I saw this on the Facebooks tonight earlier. I think he's Spanish. This is a 1:144 SR71A Blackbird. But he's made like taken off the skin and the ribbing, and yeah, like you see those larger, like the Corsair, where I think the guy's in Hawaii, he takes it in one half, he just has the spars and the assembly and that. This is on an SR71 in 1:144 scale, gentlemen.
That's insane.
Yeah, just that's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
It's just amazing job what he's done here.
Yeah. So he's put it on a great looking base, which shows the cutaway.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got when I look at this, I'm just speechless. You look at some of the detail.
What did he even make it out of? It's amazing.
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, look, it's one of those ones where you just keep getting lost in the details of it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's well worthy of as much coverage as possible, because this is truly a work of art.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Yep. All right, and who had the second one?
I did. It's Halloween, so how about a vampire?
Ooh.
Yeah, John Lester told me he ordered one of these. It's a Mark I conversion for the Airfix kits.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. And you can apparently easily do the Mark II version as well. Don't quote me on that.
For £12, not too bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah, 48 scale, and then you can get Swedish decals and everything else from probably our good friends over there at what's his name? Over in Sweden. There's an online
decal, our Swedish decal guy. Yep, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there you go.
Nice. There's your scary bit of Halloween.
I'm looking a bit further down here, and what I see is the one thing that might actually get me to buy an Anson, a mask set.
There you go. Yeah, you need a mask set for your Anson, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
I don't think you can build something like that without a mask set anymore.
Oh, and the Sea King. Oh, yes, definitely.
A lot of patience. A lot of patience if you're going to mask it by hand. I'm just saying. All right.
Very nice. We should have good thinking, Terry. We should have looked for some Halloween-oriented things.
Well, you know what? You mentioned scary tube glue, so that's the show topic tonight. Scary tube glue. That'll be tonight's show name. All right, so we're also sponsored by Return to Kit Farm, our good friends Brett and Chrissy down in Australia. Always make sure check out their site. They have wonderful canopy masks for all your Valkyrie kits. Make sure you get your orders in. Make sure you mention that we sent you down there. They're also the non-US thing for your Moscato Hobby Models kits. And Brett's been working on a very big Zentradi, the Command, I call them Marauder, but the command.
Yeah, that's
the
the
command
the Glaug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one he had just re-released. Yeah.
Yep. And that looks gorgeous too. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we're checking that
I
out.
just politically couldn't buy that this time.
No, that's all right. We understand.
Especially
so-
once the bill for that, I pre-ordered the Jet Mads Neptune. So yeah, I'm selling stuff now. I'm selling things off.
I'm looking
It's like,
forward to
look,
that.
I've sold things
I've
off.
sold
I
things
can
off.
afford
It's
this
okay, really.
$400 model kit.
I know. Well, my much better half, we had the yarn show about a month ago, and again, I follow behind and carry the bags, and I had this great printed T-shirt that me hauling the spinning wheel and her throwing a piece of a skein of yarn at me, and with hashtag fiber spell. So I'll have to put a link to those once I get the shirts ready to print. But anyway, Brett and Chrissy return to Kitform, return the number 2, kitform.com. Don't forget to say that the Scale Model Podcast sent you, and we thank them for their support. For other modeling podcast goodness, check out we're over like 12 podcasts now at modelpodcast.com. So if you want to, if you don't think you've been bored enough by listening to us, and you want to listen to some other ones, there's always some amazing content, different themes. Check them out at modelpodcast.com. Positive reviews always on Facebook and YouTube. We love that. I do have to catch up. I think I'm 2 behind on the YouTube uploads. I will get to that by the weekend. For those of you who watch/listen to us on YouTube, and of course our very own website, home of the most complete model and podcast notes. And we have merchandise on Redbubble, coffee mugs now too. Coffee mug, shirts, anything you need. Or you can use it for your brush water. Just make sure you label it as brush water. Don't drink your brush water. Kids.
Don't drink your brush water. No.
Never good.
If your brush water is that dirty, it's time to change it.
It's time to change
If you're confusing that for coffee.
That's right. Okay. See, and that's why I like a nice segue. We'll see what Terry has to say in a minute. Anything else we need to cover, gentlemen?
Nah.
All right. We are going to get some more reviews and some interviews. Anthony's working on a few things. I just got to nail him down. He's a busy guy these days. So he's keeping busy. I go by his house from time to time, and the lights are on and strange noises are afoot. And, you never know.
Well, it's school year, so,
Well, Goodman Heavy Industries, right? You never know what's going on in the basement there. So we'll see. All I know is there's strange glowing lights sometimes from where his model shop is. So we'll leave it at that. All right. So for episode 128 of the Scale Model Podcast, my name is Stuart Clark.
My name's Geoff Hyland.
I'm Terry Measley, reminding you with the time change this weekend and the weather change, there's no excuse not to get building.
Excellent.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Thank you, and be well.